Hello, everybody. Welcome to Why Would You Tell Me That? A podcast featuring me, Dave Moore, accomplished national broadcaster, and him, Neil Delamere, some lad who I know.
Oh my God, I would love if when people are giving out the Oscars.
I should have actually done more. I should have said world record holder, multi-platinum selling artist.
Yeah.
What else could I have said? Number one iTunes, like number one chart topper.
Largest, most listened to commercial radio show in Ireland.
Sometimes in and out, depends on the ratings. Largest tongue in Ireland.
I mean, I would have just said that.
Yeah, I could have listed a lot of it, and then I could have slagged
and then
off.
some lad
I was
know.
a bit too.
Yeah, but then I would know though. You see, then the more you build it up,
of course, it would have been obvious.
I would know. Also, multi-platinum. And then I would come back with things that I've done.
Yeah,
but that would take longer.
But also, I think then the kind of the tit for tat nature would make you look like you're petty.
All right.
So it would have worked well for me.
Whereas you would just look like it was a list of your credits.
Like, just what a great guy.
Do you know that years and years and years ago, when you do Montreal, the Just for Laughs Festival, I have to check this with him, but I think I'm pretty sure he'll let me say it. So the Americans always go, "What are your credits?" And we go, "Listen, just please welcome onto the stage Dave Moore." That's all we ask for.
That's all we need, yeah.
But the Americans and the Canadians, particularly the Americans, are very concerned with their credits being.
Gotcha.
So David O'Doherty and Tommy Tiernan are at it, and the guy is insisting, and the lads are like, just let me know. And David O'Doherty's sitting there, and then he hears, "You may know him from Flanagan's Pajamas. Please welcome the hit Irish sitcom actor, Tommy Tiernan." And Tommy walks on, and David O'Doherty's pacing himself laughing because he's just clearly made something up
to get your man to off his back.
Yes. You may know him from the Dolman Chronicles featuring the Bear Crannog.
You could, of course, you could go for medal holder from the community games. Like, they don't know.
No, they don't. They have no idea. No. Mosney national long jump champion. Yeah. Tato Crisps, Cullen Survivor #4. I can't wait to tell you. First of all, I can't wait to tell you what we do in our bonus episode, which we will record today. I'm very excited about that.
Okay, let's tell everybody. I think we should tell the regular listeners just to make sure they're all aware of the bonus episode, because it's unlikely that they're not, because they show up on the same feed. Yeah. So if you're a fan and you're subscribed, or if you're the type of person who constantly sees this podcast in your feed, you'll probably see the bonus episode. But just in case you don't know, new full episodes like this go out on a Thursday.
Yes.
You wake up Thursday morning, you're going to work, you're going to potter around the house, whatever it is you're doing, new full episode, hour long, thereabouts. Then correct me on this now, on a
2 days later,
Sunday and a Tuesday, you get a little bonus episode. Could be 5 minutes, could be 15 minutes. Two of us just doing absolute rot.
Random stuff. So will we just dive in? I'll do the first half, you do the second half.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So my father's mad into horse racing.
Okay.
And he was telling me once about the greatest horse racing coup that he could think of, and that everybody in horse racing, bookies, jockeys, punters, knew about. And people love when someone possibly gets one over on the bookmakers.
One over on the man. The house always wins, no matter what.
So I was watching a documentary last night. Now, I liked this I liked it and I didn't like it. Okay. I liked it because it's a brilliantly told story.
Right.
I didn't like it because I realised who made it, wrote it and directed, and it was amazing. But it was your friend, Ross Whitaker, who you ditched me for, who you went to the Roy Keane million plethora times in the Olympia.
Brilliant filmmaker, documentary maker, Ross Whitaker.
Yes.
Is the person I chose to go to Roy Keane and Roddy Doyle with, instead of going to see Neil
in the Olympia.
In yet another Olympia.
I'm going back to the Olympia.
September 20th.
September 20th.
I have it in my diary.
And if
to make sure I get something else. Ross, what can we do?
Where are you going to be? I don't care. You're changing the oil on your car.
Or you're going to visit your parents.
I will also do that.
I'll come with you.
No, you're going to visit your in-laws. I will come with you. Well, if Ross's conversation skills are anything like his film making skills, I would have chosen Ross as well, because this thing is brilliant. So let me tell you the story of Barney Curley.
The Barney Curleys. I only vaguely know this.
So are you saying that you haven't watched the documentary?
Oh, I don't consume any of the art that my friends ever. No, your comedy, his films. My friend Daniel O'Hara is one of the best drama directors in the world. Never watch any of his stuff. So Jonica Costello, he's the cutting edge of minimalist techno music. Never listen to him.
You're basically like a Hoover of emotion, and you're a black hole. You're a vortex. You suck from other people. You are some sort of you're the liver fluke of friendship. That's what you are.
Yeah.
You're like a parasite.
Yes.
You're like something that swims up the eye of someone's penis in an Amazonian rainforest river. That's what you are.
That's all I've ever aimed to be.
Do you know when you're out with
Swimming
Dave?
up Wee Stream.
Look at David, he's dancing, right? And he's doing this, right? That's the only dance he does. And he shakes his bottom. It's basically him swimming up the eye of someone's penis.
Whatever it takes to get my claws into, to suck the resources from,
sustenance from. Yeah. You're basically a massive data center, but for friendship. That's what you are.
I'm water cooled as well. I am so bad for the environment.
Okay. Well, I like Ross. I'm going to end around you, and I'm going to be Ross's friend.
Do, and also please put the link to Ross's documentary, or to point people towards it.
It's brilliant.
Barney Curley story. Yeah, but go on.
It's really,
tell me all
really
about
good.
it.
Right. So
actually, after this, I can ring Ross on the way home because he only lives nearby, and I can go, hey, by the way, watch that documentary you made.
Oh, you're such
6
a
years
bastard.
ago.
I'm going to drop one thing into it that isn't true. It's amazing the way he became the first man to have a full hand transplant. What are you talking about? So Barney Curley is brilliant. It's 1975. Right. Okay. This starts in 1975. Now, I've read about this in the papers as well, but I think Ross's doc is so good. We'll use that as the basis for our podcast. 1975, he's into the bookies for 12 grand. He's a professional gambler. Right, Barney Curley. Now, he's also a trainer. He's a gambling trainer, is what they would say. Very interesting man. The backstory is born in Irvinstown in County Fermanagh, if you know it. I've driven through it several times. Not a big place. Went to a boarding school, believe it or not. Okay. But his dad was a big gambler. And in the 50s, his dad was in for £1,200 he was in debt. In the 50s, right. £1,200, right? To give our American listeners some idea of 1,200 punts in the 50s. Actually, no, that would have been pounds in the 50s. My dad built his house for like £3,000 in the 60s. You're talking about it's a lot
the guts
of money.
Of a house.
Yeah. He put a few quid on a dog. Dog did not win. Dad is in a lot of debt. Dad takes him out of school. He's in boarding school. He's a clever boy. He says he's not great at school. Barney Curley's now no longer with us, but a very interesting character. He said he wasn't academic, but he has natural street smarts. You can tell.
Yeah.
And he takes him out of the boarding school. And he goes to Manchester, and the two of them have to work to get money to pay off the debt. The rest of the family's back in Fermanagh. He works for about 18 months in a I think it's a chemicals factory, and does 2 shifts a day, 16 years of age, 6 days a week. Knows hard work. Comes back. This is just a backstory, by the way. Comes back, is walking by someplace, and apparently there's a show band in there, and they're practicing. He goes, "Have you a manager?" And they went, "No." And he goes, You do now. So he's driving around Ireland as a show band manager. Wow. And he's only young, like, he's a teenager at this point, right? And he's also doing a little sideline in smuggling.
Okay, Barney.
So he loves kind of the dark side of the law, shall we say. Yeah. But the thing about the 60s in Ireland, 50s and 60s in Ireland, I mean, everybody's at this. I don't know.
I ring my mum on the way home now and go, Myra, what were you smuggling in the 60s?
Well, you ring my dad and one of his burner phones will answer. And a lot of people were doing things that, I mean, tax was an idea. VAT
so was that
an idea.
Why my dad went to college in Victoria, Texas, where he was the only Irish person, the only foreigner who'd ever shown up in Victoria, in Texas, tiny town in Texas.
Really?
Went to college. I have the 62 yearbook. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The 1960 something yearbook.
He's the only Irish person in it.
And you can tell because there's a shot taken from the roof of the school, like the yard area. I don't know what they would call it in America, but like the play area. And everyone's there. They're all standing around. They're all in the dresses you'd expect. It must have been the early 60s.
And mortarboard and all that stuff.
I suppose a bit like Grease. Like, I know that was 50s, but like that kind of, those kind of dress, leather jackets, white t-shirts, jeans, whatever. Oh, yeah. There's one guy on a bike with a tie. my outfit.
Really?
Because
Duffel coat,
Irish people
tie.
know, well, not duffel coat. We wouldn't go anywhere without a tie.
Right.
We wouldn't go to school without a tie.
But they would smuggle stuff.
Well, we would smuggle a lot of things.
I think there was a load of. I think there was a lot of in the showband era. There was a lot of cash being paid on doors.
Sure.
I think there was a lot of people getting things from the north.
Right.
When he said he was smuggling, what he used to do was smuggle tires.
Oh.
So you could get tires, and it was the Michelin X, and it would be like 3, 4, 5 quid in the north.
All right.
But you could sell it for 20 or 25 quid down here.
Okay.
So he's going around the show bands, which means he knows everybody.
Yeah.
And he's making a few bob. And I suppose the reason it's put in the documentary, I think, is to show that he's always looking for an angle.
Yeah.
Okay. So, cut to 1975. After a couple of years with the show bands, by the way, he decides, I'm going to be a professional gambler. And his dad, of course, discourages him, but he goes, no,
I know what I'm doing.
Professional gambler. Has a few early hits.
Right.
But buys a small farm. He's a trainer at this point. Cut to 1975. He's 12 grand in debt. Right?
Again, so €12,000 1975 is a house for definite.
It's a house in a decent suburb of Dublin. It's not a house in
rural
Ireland. It's yes. Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
So it's a lot of money. So he does what any normal human being does in that situation. He goes, gambling got me into this. Gambling's going to get me out. And if there's one message that we can spread to the youth of the world, always chase your losses.
I will now say, for the sake of our podcast,
yes.
gambleaware.ie, I believe, is the website. Please go and...
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
This is a once in a lifetime. This is kind of very specific circumstances. So what he thinks is the way out of this is to go long on something, to organise something big, right? So he decides, he goes to his trainer and he goes, listen, do we have any of our decent horses? And he goes, there's one horse that could do this for you. Because what you need is you need a horse that has very long odds, or pretty long odds, but it's still got a decent chance under the right circumstances. So he has a horse called Yellow Sam. Right? Now, Yellow Sam was named after his dad because his dad had a slightly tanned complexion.
Wow.
This is a thing about Ireland as well in the 50s, 60s, right up until about 20 years ago, is that people were called after their skin colour, and the only people of non-white skin colour, well, there's no non-white people, right? So basically somebody who's slightly olive skin
sallow
would have been called olive, would have been called Yellow Sam. So this horse is not great. He's run about 8 or 9 times. He's come 8th on each time. But
he's got potential.
He's got potential. And most importantly, because he has run in those circumstances, he's carrying very little weight. So he's very well handicapped, essentially, right?
Gotcha.
So Barney decides, if I can figure out a race for him where the going is good enough and that will suit him perfectly, we can get him off and he could
win. And therefore put money on him. Put money on it. Okay.
However, what happens is in those days, most the odds set on a race are at the odds at the race course. Okay. So what he needs to do is he needs to put loads of money on. First of all, if Barney Curley turns up, they won't accept bets from him. Bookmakers, right?
Gotcha.
So he needs to get loads of money onto that horse without the people at the race course knowing. So what he does is he gets 300 different people. So he gets 10 or 12 anchormen is what he was calling them, right? So basically that is, I suppose, like a capo in the mafia, right? But like a lieutenant, shall we say.
It's like a pyramid scheme. It's like send 10 lads out, but each of them needs to go get 10 lads.
Exactly, right? And they end up with about 300 people. Jeez. And they go, listen, 5 are on. Don't put any more than that, right? And it takes him about 6 weeks. And he locks himself away, right? And he goes, okay, where do I need to go? He picks Bellewstown,
right,
in County Meath. Yeah. There's a reason he picks Bellewstown. Well, one is because he thinks that Yellow Sam can win in this particular race. Yeah. 2, and this is the important one, is he needs nobody to know what's going on. Bellewstown in those days has one phone box on the course, right? So on the day of the race, there's 300 people all around Ireland, and their job is to go into a bookie with a $5, no more than that, because you don't want to give anything away. And if money starts being lumped on, the word will get back.
Of course, so stick it on Yellow Sam.
Yellow Sam. So Yellow Sam starts at 12-1 at the racecourse. Now, there's one bookmaker called Sean Graham. You will have seen Sean Graham chops all over the place. He felt that he was unbelievably smart and he's going to twig this. So he went to him about a week before and said, listen, I'm trying something big in about 10 days. And your man goes, as long as you don't hit my shops, don't do anything to my shops.
Right.
I won't try and investigate what it is.
Yeah.
So which is a big risk, but that's what he does. So on the day, he turns up to Bellewstown. He calls into a friend of his because he has to switch cars because he has a car that everybody recognises, right? And he rings from, I think there's a phone box on the way to Bellewstown, possibly in Ashburn, and he rings and goes, because all the people going into the shops didn't know what horse they were betting on.
Right.
Yellow Sam, 5 on.
Okay.
Right. Horse starts at 12 to 1 normally. Horse goes out to 16 to 1. Horse goes out to 18 to 1. Horse goes out to 20 to 1. Now, Sean Graham doesn't know doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
right?
know
So he just sets the odds normally.
Yeah.
And because he's the big bookmaker, there's other little bookmakers there, and they all just follow him. That's always the way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Barney Curley wants his horse to go off at 12 to 1, hopefully, but it's gone off at 20 to 1. Right? He's collected a rake of money. We'll get to that in a second. But what happens if they find out that all this money is going on all around the country? So he gets his mate to stand in the phone box.
Or be on the phone.
And he's on the phone to his sick aunt who's in sick relation who's in Drogheda Hospital. And he has to lock up the phone line for 20 minutes. So 25 minutes before the race, he gets on the phone. And he's going, oh, she's very sick. Oh, she's at death's door.
I couldn't even come off now if I tried.
Yeah, she's rallied. She's back in the game. Yeah. No, she's on the vent now. Oh, she's back. They've brought in a relic and they've rubbed her off Oliver Plunkett's head from the local church. She's rallying now, but there's no way you're going to get onto this phone anyway. Jockey gets on the horse. Jockey knows nothing about this.
Jockey's just getting on normal.
Jockey gets on. Meanwhile, Barney is sneaked in and is in the middle of the race, is in the middle of the course, just watching. Horse runs, horse wins. He had garnered £15,000.
£15,000.
Yeah. So he takes £300,000.
Wow.
£300,000. Now, the danger of all this is there's a couple of dangers. One is that somebody else is doing the same thing he has. Right? Okay. No, there isn't.
Sure.
But he also thought maybe the stewards will...
Yeah.
So, no stewards. The jockey remembers that the trainer said to him, just weigh in, don't shower, just weigh in and put your gear on and off you go, because he thought, this is a bit of an unusual win. So he wins. Jockey is none the wiser. Jockey wakes up the next day and he's on the front of the Irish Independent, the Irish Times. He's on front of the Irish papers anyway. There's a big betting coup gone down and he had no idea anything about it.
Now, Barney liked the left-hand side of the law. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
Say, this isn't illegal. This is just, you're just clever.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That's why it's reported. Now, I've heard about other horse greyhound racing coups, and they called in the fraud squad afterwards and all the rest. But there's nothing.
This is just good planning.
There is a weakness in the system. That weakness appears to be one phone line.
Yeah.
In Bellewstown. And so I'm going to take advantage of the system.
And then to get paid out.
Yes.
All that money wasn't put on in Bellewstown. That was the money put on all around the country.
300 people have put them in Limerick and in Galway.
Okay, but my question
everywhere.
is, like, if you are hired by a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, and you threw on a fiver and you're making back £100, who are you giving it to? Well, I forgot. Sorry, John.
Well, there's no suggestion of that.
Okay.
There is a suggestion of he thought he was going to he thought he was going to make back $100,000. He made $300,000, and somebody said to him, "Don't collect it in Dublin because there's been a lot of robberies." There was all sorts of mad stuff going on in the 70s as well, right? So he went, okay, and he hired a place. I think he hired a suite in Wicklow in a hotel, and apparently they paid him, but it was coming in pounds, and it was coming in like they were really bitter about paying him and really annoyed about paying him. But he made all of it. Now, I would assume that other people, you're told to put on a fiver from word on high. Do you put on your own fiver as well? I'd imagine other people took a few quid as well.
Now, sorry, was this 75? Is that what you
75.
brought us to? I'm just interested, unless you've done it already, what the kind of equivalent...
2 million.
Oh, so 1975, $300,000 is 2 million.
Yeah. So the jockey, by the way, Barney Curley, short time afterwards, this isn't the end of a story, right?
Oh, right, okay.
This is just the most amazing coup.
Yeah.
Jockey's an amateur jockey. A little short time later, he goes, "Where are you going today?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm riding an ace." He goes, "Okay." Now, it's customary to give the jockey a little something, but he's amateur.
Yeah.
He goes, "Get a lift down, don't bring your own car." He collects him from Naas, brings him up to Dublin, gives him a BMW, brings him into a dealership, gives him a car.
Wow.
Yeah. So from the money he got from that, he bought a massive mansion in Mullingar. Right? Buys for about 800,000 punts. lives in it for 7 or 8 years, decides, I'm going to go to Newmarket in England.
Right.
I'm going to sell the house. I'm not going to sell the house. I'm going to raffle the house. You see that commonly now. But
yeah, totally. This would have been in the 80s.
Yeah, it's about 7 or 8 years after. It's very early 80s.
Wow.
So he sells 9,000 tickets at €200 ticket, £200 a ticket, 1.8 million. He makes £1 million in 8 years on the house. £1 million.
Oh my God. Again, £1 million. Yeah.
And goes off to England. And then in later years became very friendly with Frankie Dettori. God love him, one of his sons died in an accident, and he was obviously lost. And a couple of years after that, he was very religious. He was very Catholic, staunchly Catholic man, and he was friends with the priest. And the priest said, "Come out to Zambia," because he was working in Zambia. And then later on in his life, he set up direct aid for Africa, built schools,
Brilliant,
built hospitals.
Oh, Barney
did all sorts of stuff. He said it was the best thing he ever did in his entire life.
Wow!
So it's an amazing story. It's all he saw was an opportunity. I think he was a guy who spotted opportunities here, there, and
Sounds
everywhere.
like it,
he's no longer with us. Ross Whitaker has done an amazing documentary on it. Watch it.
Can I give you my incredible betting tip?
Yeah.
Okay. I used to finish up my radio show in the morning times.
Yeah.
And we'd walk around to a Greasy Spoon calf around the corner.
Yeah.
Can I just highly recommend in your 20s, every day you can eat a fry, because nothing happens to you.
Yeah.
Your 30s and 40s, I think, but in your 20s. So we go around and we'd eat gorgeous sausages and beans and whatever.
Is this about 9 o'clock in the morning sort of thing?
Probably
10
quarter past
o'clock in the
10. Quarter past 10, yeah. And then while you put your order in, you then nip next door into the Bookies, right? And you couldn't be waiting on races.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It'd be like, there wouldn't be a race till 12 o'clock. Virtual nags. Okay. So you are talking about a computer. Now, you can imagine the graphics. This is the early, mid 2000s, right? You go in, and I would only ever do like 50 cent each way, right?
Right.
€1 each way, whatever. So you're talking about like €1, a couple of euro. But it would be, and now the 10, 20 at, and they just like it'd be a completely made up fake
King's Landing.
Yeah, exactly. And then all the horses would have names. They'd all have numbers. They'd all have jockey colours. But then they wouldn't say any of. They would say them at the start, and they parade around. Virtual like computer horses would parade around and be like, and there's number 14. Because it's all like pre-record, like it's not done real. It's like the guy has recorded like 5,000 horse names and 5,000 numbers. There he goes, and there number 14, holiday nag, like whatever, right? And then it would just cut, and ridden by John Brown, like just all right. Then eventually the race would go off, and instead of saying any of the names, he would just say, 14. And number 14's going well. And now, number 12 on the outside. Like, he could be anywhere. He could be anywhere.
By short head.
Yeah, like ridiculous. Anyway, the race would come in. I made an inhuman amount of wins, not a lot of money, because it was 50 cents away. But no matter what was going on, I bet on 14 to 1.
No, whatever was 14 to 1.
Whatever was 14 to 1.
Why?
Because I don't know. I think it happened the first time I did it, and it won. And then I went, oh my God, that's loads of money. Because each way you get like a quarter odds or fifth odds or whatever. You're still getting money back even if you finish in the top 4 or whatever it was. I can't remember. And I've just always stuck with 14 to 1 for whatever, right? Now, trust me, I have lost way more money than I've ever made. However, every now and again, the Grand National or something, someone's, you put
go
up,
14
and
to
I go
1.
14 to 1. And twice in 20 years, I've won on a big race at 14 to 1 with decent money on it because it was like the Grand National or whatever. And like then I tell the story for 14 to 1 is the way, 14 to 1 is the way. And then I don't count the other 800 times I put 14 to 1 on and got none.
Yes. If you learn anything from this podcast, do not listen to anything that either of us say about gambling. No. Although my favourite line ever is about gambling in my life is the only very fancy holiday we went on as a kid. We went to a Great Southern Hotel.
Ooh, nice.
Like 1990. And I said to my dad, why are we here? And he went, because West Germany won the World Cup at 7 to 1.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, good man.
Thanks, Johnny. You'll hit us in the second half with your facts.
I've got something for you in the second half. You'll love this.
Welcome back to part 2 of Why Would You Tell Me That, hosted by me, Neil Delamere. 5-star reviews, IFTA award winner, nominee for various awards and festivals around the world, and Dave Moore, a man I know.
Never even included the radio awards in my first spiel about myself.
Oh yeah,
multi-award winner.
Do you?
New York festivals winner.
That's the big one.
Yeah, it's not really.
I know.
Everyone wins that.
I know.
Everyone wins that. It sounds great.
Yeah.
But literally you enter and you win.
Celtic Media Award.
That's
the big
one. Yeah.
Go on, what's part 2?
Why is Mona Lisa famous?
Why is she famous? Because it's the most enigmatic smile in the world.
It's the most famous painting on earth.
Yes.
You would agree, wouldn't you?
Yes.
It was utterly unfamous for hundreds of years.
Really?
It was just in the Louvre among a sea of other paintings. No one paid any blind bit of attention to it. People walked past it every single day, and it was just another painting on the wall. It was painted sometime in the early 1500s by Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, our experts did admire it. They understood that it was a wonderful example of Da Vinci's ability to capture a moment and as you said, the wry smile, the quirkiness of all of that.
Yeah.
But it literally sat there. No one paid any blind bit of attention to it until 1911.
Go on.
In 1911, a handyman, an Italian fella, his name was Vincenzo Perugio, and he was hired to replace the glass in some of the paintings in the Louvre. So he went in and he removed the glass of this painting, removed the glass of that painting, and replaced it with better glass, cleaner glass. Some of them were cracked and chipped, whatever. And he never left. And nobody noticed because he's a handyman changing panes of glass. And he stayed in a supply cupboard overnight. And in the morning, when the museum was closed, one of the days it was closed, he walked over and he took the glass off the Mona Lisa. And he took the frame down off the wall, and he took the painting out and rolled that up and brought the frame with him. Put it under his coat.
Okay.
And walked out of the Louvre.
In 1911?
In 1911.
Now, I don't know if you followed the news in the last few years. It's good to see that the Louvre has updated their security systems and their alarms.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Very much
Nobody
so.
could get away with a robbery in broad daylight or like that using a cherry picker.
Yeah, exactly. They disguised themselves as also workers.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
So this is, what's his name? Vincenzo
Peruggia.
And he's a handyman. So that's obviously, there's the family. There's the two plumbers. There's Mario and Luigi. And then there's the handyman, Vincenzo.
No one noticed until the following afternoon because it's just an anonymous picture.
Right.
It wasn't in pride of place. Somebody walked through the hall and went, what used to be there?
This is a profoundly ignorant thing to say, but listen, start as you mean to go on.
We've
done this podcast a lot. But a man who knows nothing about art, right? I know what I like, though. I know what I like.
Sure.
Do you think that's like we like art because we're told to like certain art?
Oh, yeah.
When you don't know anything about it, like us, and they go, look at that, it's amazing, and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could show me a Caravaggio and you could show me something.
Very good use of light.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You could show me that and you could show me something somebody painted last week who was also good at painting, and I couldn't tell you which was which, right?
Yeah.
Or you could show me modern art. I once went around the Guggenheim Museum. It was the worst experience of my existence. Like at one point, somebody had nailed blue bottles to a canvas. Another one was like, it was a white... So
now, I will say, nailed blue bottles to a canvas, if that's done in real time,
no,
that's
it wasn't.
Very impressive.
No, it was just sitting there.
If it's like there's flies flying around and Mr. Miyagi style, a guy goes, watch this, or with a nail gun.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
They were all, the Guggenheim famously, it loops downwards.
Is this in Bilbao or in America?
No, New York, sorry. And it, like you start at the top, you get the lift up at the top, and then it's a big circle, and along the way all the way are these white...
people looking at pictures.
Very, very well. But there are these white, I guess rooms, but they're small little holes, and that's your kind of exhibition space. So it could just be a painting on a wall, or you can take up the whole thing and you can, drape things from the ceiling of this little space or whatever. One of them was blank, and I walked past it. Look, we went from one, and my wife she's an artist, she loves us, and I was like, come on, like this one's empty. Skip this one. She went, it's not empty. And I was like, no, it is. It's not empty.
Go on.
And we looked at it, and it had because all of them have a little card outside to tell you what it is. Obviously, some modern artist. So up it ran a cable up the side, down in the middle, hanging like a pendant light, like people would have in their rooms, with no bulb in it, and it just said "An exercise in emptiness" by whoever. Just basically did nothing. Just didn't put a light bulb in the standard fitting that was just in the room. The whole thing was empty, and that was art. Anyway, so my point is, it's all lost on me.
Okay.
Right? Mona Lisa is a great question, because to most people
at that time,
it was just in a sea of portraits painted by Da Vinci. Sure, he's important, isn't he? Whatever.
One-hit wonder, though.
There's Monet's. there's Monet's to look at. There's other, there's famous Caravaggios, whatever. He's just, Da Vinci painted some woman, grand. No. Like, the world went absolutely balubus.
Right.
When 28 hours later, somebody copped on
that it was gone.
That was gone. Paris lost its mind, okay? The museum closed for a week, which never happened. They hired 60, count them, detectives to come in and dust for prints and try and figure out what had happened to Mona Lisa. The police even questioned Pablo Picasso.
He's the first one I'd go to.
You go for him, would you? In 1911 of all years. Anyway, he was questioned. Nobody thought to think of or question somebody who had access to everything.
Who was in there?
Vincenzo, the handyman. Scot-free. He brought Mona Lisa home to his apartment, and he put it in a wooden or a big kind of case, like a suitcase, like a 1911 type, like a carry suitcase, with old clothes on top of it, and sat on it for 2 years. Now, I can't explain to you.
He sits in it for 2 years.
2 years. Like, I can't explain how famous the Mona Lisa became instantly. Newspapers ran, their front cover of the newspapers was the empty space in the Louvre. Like, she had gone from painting nobody knew anything about other than art historians to like the most famous painting in the world. I was going to say overnight. It took 2 or 3 nights. But
everybody basically went, why did he rob this one? He must know something we don't know. It's amazing. Why did art thieves? Of course, they don't know. It's just a random handyman. They go, why did art thieves steal this one? And then in the absence of reason, there's a vacuum, and people start filling in the vacuum and attributing amazing things and qualities.
Love your logic. Record numbers went to the Louvre
to see
that
the
week
space where it used to be.
Space where it used to be. Record numbers they had. The Louvre couldn't believe it.
You should be able to buy a concert ticket to go to watch the stage after the Rolling Stones have left. Like just for a tenner to see it, or a fiver, just to see if there's any of the ambience
or
left.
watch the lads de-rig.
Yeah,
just
big,
really burly lads,
really angry roadies and tech,
just trying to get everything into a truck.
We have to go to San Sebastian's work.
into a truck by 2 a.m. or else they get fined. Yeah,
we have a ferry to catch.
The crime completely made the painting.
Okay,
in 1913, Vincenzo had an idea. He went to Florence with the painting, and he said to an art dealer there, "You know what I have in my suitcase?" I said, "What?" He goes, "I've got La Mona Lisa." My belief, I'm Italian, you're Italian. Da Vinci painted this.
It should be here.
Napoleon stole it from us. It should be here.
He's not wrong.
The Italian art dealer said, "Hang on there a sec, lad. I've someone I need to talk to." 999. Hello, coppers. I've got him. He was arrested. Right. However, he was sentenced to 7 months in jail.
7
months in prison in France. But in Italy, he was a hero. He was paraded through the streets to applause, flowers, free this, free that, whatever, because he was the guy who tried to bring La Mona Lisa back to Italy. The Mona Lisa itself, having been recovered in Florence, then went on a never before heard of PR tour. It went to cities in Italy where thousands of people came to see it.
No way.
On its way back to Paris. So it eventually made its way back to the Louvre, but it was touring around. Like, this had never happened before.
That's all. As a touring comedian, I mean, I admire it, but I'm a little annoyed that it's pulling bigger crowds than me when it's doing nothing. When the Mona Lisa was stolen originally, right? Given that a lot of people didn't know what it looked like, were there wanted posters of the Mona Lisa up around? And those people looked at those wanted posters and went, do you know something? That's really pretty, and there's a huge artistic merit in that. And then someone stole a wanted poster of the Mona Lisa,
which then in itself
and then it's just a Christopher Nolan film.
No, I don't think that happened. Look, I mean, as I said, Da Vinci's reputation he's probably the most famous artist in history, and even in the early 1900s, he was there. You know, since that painting was stolen and recovered, it is now the most famous painting in the world, only because of Vincenzo. If he had never stolen it, only somebody who studies Da Vinci's works would really be aware of Mona Lisa. But now, I mean, in my house, I had a lurcher called Lorna, and Tracy, she's an artist, she painted the Mona Lisa and put Lorna's head where and it's called the Mona. It's written La Mona Lorna.
Oh, that's class.
And that's hanging up on our wall. Like, you know,
we know what happened to your man afterwards.
Oh, he just went to bed, served his time, and then went to bed to his business the rest of his life. Absolutely fine.
7 months.
7 months in jail, and that was it. Other things that have made Mona Lisa, I guess, remain in our psyche since are things like Da Vinci's, you know, everything else he's done. The mysterious smile you mentioned at the start. The endless speculation as to who she might actually be. Yeah. That's always a big thing. Then massive reproduction in T-shirts, books, cards, every ad you can think of. Again, the Mona Lorna, please don't sue us, Leonardo da Vinci. There were also attacks and incidents since then on Mona Lisa over the years. Like, there have been, like, it's now so protected. You know, like when you go to the Louvre to look at it, it's behind the velvet rope, it's encased, like you can't get near it. And rightly so. It's even hard to take a photograph of because it's behind glass and it reflects and all that, whatever. But it is the painting, I think, that pretty much everybody knows.
Have you ever seen the one where it's her face on a briquette and it's called the Board the Mona Lisa? Have you ever seen that?
No, but why did they not run that as an ad campaign back
in the day? Maybe because I just made it up.
I know, but I should have. I mean, come on.
It would have been class.
It would have been so good. I mean, even if they just had a series of ads where Lisa, who worked in Board the Mona,
and she was
ring up and go,
Board the
Mona Lisa. Like, oh, that would have been so good.
Who is Board the Mona Lisa? We could have done an amazing ad campaign for Board the Mona Lisa. Okay.
Anyway, sorry, that's the end of that now. So anyway, we must thank Vincenzo Peruggia for the fact that he went and stole it and then made us all love the Mona Lisa.
It is the 1911 equivalent of a hype campaign.
Yeah.
That you basically can create. We all think that we have free will and we all think that we can't be manipulated. And actually, FOMO can manipulate us. Totally. And that's what that was. That was, oh God, I wish I'd seen it when it was still there. Yeah. It must be special. But so I wonder what he saw on it. But he could have robbed another one.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, maybe the fact that it was Da Vinci's and the fact that it wasn't the most famous painting at the time, you know, because maybe if he'd taken that, he would have been stopped on the way out.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought he could get it, like, it is famous.
It was a lesser light one.
But it was one people, as I said, it took 28 hours for them to notice it was even gone.
That is absolutely amazing.
There's Vincenzo for you.
If you haven't heard our previous episodes, this is my favourite painting fact, and that is that Jack B. Yeats, brother of William Butler Yeats, won an Olympic medal
bronze,
for a painting. I think it might have been silver.
I beg your pardon.
The Liffey swim
B.
is exactly that's what it was. Swim, yeah. It was the Irish Free State's first medal. Because painting was in the Olympics. That is a sort of quality fact that we drop on this podcast. I am doing the Olympia, as he said, on September 20th, and I'm doing Leeds City Varieties very soon. I'm very excited about that. I've never done a gig that big before in Leeds, so if you're in Leeds, please come along.
I just realised what I did when I stood you up for your previous Olympia gig was I was actually attempting to do a Vincenzo Peruggia. I was attempting to say, look at that empty seat.
Yeah.
It's Dave Moore's. This show is so good, Dave Moore's not here.
Is that
or go to the show, to My Nails Comedy, look at the seat where Dave Moore could have been.
Yeah.
Put me in a box.
Okay. I will.
Put me in a box on the 20th.
And I will ship that box to somewhere very far away. Oh yeah, sorry, an Olympia box.
Yeah, put it in the box
cool.
in Olympia.
That's cool.
And then put a sign say Dave Moore's seat, like neon, like And then when you're doing your show,
Hold on, Dave Moore's seat, like neon or like a brass plate on, like you've died.
No.
Church.
People can't see that. They need to be able to, the crowd needs to be able to see that because they'll buy tickets to go and see the uninhabited seat.
I have an Olympia fact for you.
Okay.
You know, there's basically a swimming pool above your head when you're in the Olympia.
No.
There's a massive tank of water above your head, and if you go backstage, which you will have been
loads of times, yeah.
You look around next time you're there. It says drencher because it was all of that was made of wood, and the block was made of wood, so they had to have basically an early fire put out system.
Yeah.
So there are liters and liters and liters. And
Oh, no,
liters
sorry,
of
is it still water going in?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That is, backstage in the Olympia is one of the coolest places. Like the stories.
Absolutely. Listen to him on the radio 9 to 12. And then afterwards, if you go around a random greasy cafe, you can watch his arteries hardening in real time. He is half cholesterol, half sugar. Talk to you soon.
Bye.